Romance of Sui and Tang Dynasties, Chapter 36.
Okay, let's unpack this. And we're starting in the most decadent place possible, which is the emperor's own personal quarters.
Yeah, the narrative just drops us right in. It paints this picture of Emperor Yang and his Empress Shao finally calling it a night when the fifth watch sounds. That's well into the morning.
So they're governing the entire world on a completely inverted schedule.
Totally. The source tells us they don't even stir until noon, and even then, they're still feeling the unspent excitement from the night before.
The leader's immediate priority is just keeping the party going.
And that leisure, that schedule, it has immediate tragic human consequences. It's the very first thing we learn.
The miscarriage.
Exactly. One of the palace ladies, Sha Furen, she'd suffered a miscarriage. The report says she was forced to ride too much during the excursion the night before, and she lost a male fetus.
Which is a deeply personal tragedy, but also, a dynastic one.
Yeah.
Male heirs were everything.
Right, but what's fascinating is the emperor's reaction. It's this brief flicker of human regret.
Well, it's very self-centered regret, isn't it?
It is. He says, "Alas, I should not have asked him to join." He's focused on his lapse in judgment, not the system that put her in that position.
He sends for the physician, promises to visit, but before he can even process it, the real world intrudes.
The door slams shut on his private life. The vice minister, Pei Zhu, arrives.
And he's not here about health. He's here about power. He's carrying foreign tribute.
From the Turks, from Gaocheng, it's a symbol of the vast reach of the Sui Empire. Everyone is submitting.
Except one. And that one omission is the spark for this entire military operation.
Right. Pei Zhu reports that King Yuan of Goryeo, quote, relies on strength and refuses to attend court. For Emperor Yang, this is political dynamite.
It's an existential challenge to his legitimacy.
And he immediately goes to the historical justification, saying Goryeo has been a vassal state since ancient times. So this isn't just a snub, it's rebellion.
So the immediate response is rage and a mandate for conquest. But surely his advisors pointed out how hard this would be.
Well, Pei Zhu has to. He lays out the immense difficulties. Goryeo is protected by 24 strategic paths, 3 huge rivers, the Liao, the Yalu, the Ba.
Not an easy target.
Not at all. He says conquest requires a colossal effort, land forces, and a huge, dedicated naval power.
So the machinery of war starts turning. He appoints Yuan Shu as the total commander.
And Lei Hu as the deputy gives them full authority to just get it done, start the mobilization.
This is where the madness of scale really takes over, right? Because while he's talking about coastal security for the Goryeo campaign,
he suddenly, almost casually, remembers another massive project he wants done right now.
The Great Wall. He orders a complete rebuilding of the Great Wall from Yulin in the west all the way to Zihei in the east.
Just think about that for a second. You have just committed the empire to its most complex, costly military campaign in a generation.
And in the same breath.
In the very same breath, you greenlight another project of comparable scale. It's like funding a mission to Mars and rebuilding the entire national highway system because you thought of it over lunch.
It's the ultimate symptom of imperial hubris. The belief that resources are just infinite.
Absolutely. And this excessive war planning immediately gets layered onto the emperor's true passion. The machinery of luxury.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because a messenger, Ma Shumu, arrives with news that's the perfect distraction.
The Guangling River, part of the Grand Canal, is open. For Emperor Yang, this is the green light. His dream of a massive southern tour can finally happen.
The second he hears the canal is operational, his mind just shifts. It goes from conquest to transportation.
And his advisor, Yuan Da, is right there to push him. Ordinary ships? No. Unacceptable. The emperor requires the Longzhu, the dragon boats.
And the scale of this order is just staggering.
It's immediate. 10 first-class dragon boats, 500 second-class, thousands of auxiliary vessels, and the deadline is 4 months. It's an impossible demand.
But the extravagance doesn't stop with just building the boats. The courtier Yu Shiji starts advising on decorations.
Oh, this part is incredible. He suggests using brocade for the sails, brocade, and 5-colored velvet for the cables.
Brocade sails? Velvet ropes? I mean, why?
The reason is even more absurd. So that when there's no wind, the boat can be pulled by human labor and look like a walking palace.
It's an aesthetic justification for mass labor.
And then Yuan Da perfects the folly. He points out that common laborers would clash with the whole velvet and brocade aesthetic.
So what's the solution?
His solution is to conscript 1,000 girls, specifically aged 15 or 16, from the Wu and Yu regions. dress them as officials, palace footwomen,
And their only job is...
to pull those velvet cables when the wind dies, or hold the oars when it blows.
Yeah, just pause on that. Seizing 1,000 young women from their homes to act as human ornamental draglines for a luxury boat.
It's not transportation, it's performance art built on forced labor and national resources.
And all this logistical madness feeds right back into the political games. Which brings us to the crucial pivot.
Yu Shiji, the same guy who suggested the brocade sales, he offers the emperor the perfect political solution.
A massive deception.
He advises the emperor to issue the Conquest of Liaodong edict, but to use it just as a pretext, a cover story for the Southern tour.
So the war is the excuse for the party. Why was that so important?
It's pure cynical calculation, taxes. By calling it a military necessity, they avoid having to openly collect taxes for a massive imperial vacation.
Which would cause a huge backlash.
Exactly. But if you say, we're mobilizing for war against rebellious Goryeo, who's going to argue?
It's the ultimate shell game. The emperor just immediately accepts it, declares, your words are very reasonable.
And in that moment, the entire military mobilization, the commanders, the wall, the logistics, it all just becomes a travel permit for his vacation.
And having settled on the lie, he decides he has to write the war edict, the Zhaoshu himself, to prove his literary brilliance.
And this is where his self-image just completely crashes into reality.
That picks up the brush, ready to be a genius, and nothing.
He struggles. He writes a few completely ordinary, forgettable lines. He's horrified. He feels extremely anxious.
Yeah.
Recognizing his talent is failing.
It's a profound moment of personal collapse, isn't it?
Okay.
He can't produce the high-stakes propaganda he needs.
And wisely, his concubine, Yuan Baoer, she gently intervenes. She points at the obvious. Your Majesty, you don't have to write it alone. Consult an expert.
And this is where we meet the true literary genius of the court, Yu Xinan.
He's the brother of the cynical advisor, but he's a man of great talent and learning. And crucially, he'd been passed over for promotions because he is unwilling to follow fashion.
He wasn't a yes man.
Exactly. And now the emperor, desperate to save face, has to summon the principled man he'd ignored just because he needs his genius.
So Yu Xinan arrives, sits down, and he doesn't even have to think.
The description is cinematic. His brush just flows like dragons and snakes, wind-moving clouds. In under half an hour, it's done. The piece of literature that legitimizes the war and the vacation.
Okay, so let's analyze this masterpiece of propaganda. What was the core message?
Well, it starts by establishing universal dominion. One heaven, one ruler. The entire world belongs to the Sui, period.
And Goryeo is framed as being within the imperial sphere. So their refusal to submit isn't just politics, it's a breach of the natural order.
Precisely. The war becomes an act of cosmic correction. And to cement that, the edict cites these grand historical precedents. They're comparing this to foundational acts of civilization.
But then the rhetoric turns really aggressive.
Oh, absolutely. The imperial army is the tiger's might, an overwhelming force. And Goryeo, it's dismissed as a mere anthole, a pellet of earth.
The army's purpose is to destroy dry rot. It completely minimizes the enemy.
And then comes the ultimatum. Submit and you'll get clemency. Refuse and you face complete extermination like the historical kingdom of Lulan. It's beautifully written and utterly brutal.
The official Yu Xinan.
Right. And he's presented with the task and he just drafts the required decree instantly.
It's the sheer effortless efficiency that's key here. The record says his brush didn't even stop.
No revisions.
Not a single edit. The text was perfect from the start.
And the emperor is, what, just overjoyed?
He's ecstatic.
Yeah.
He sees it as a political triumph. He calls the document a true marvel, something worthy of, and I'm quoting, making the nation flourish.
So this display of just raw talent, this genius and the emperor's favor that comes with it, that's really the catalyst for everything that follows.
It is. It proves that talent can be the most dangerous currency you can have in court.
Okay, so while Yu Xinan is copying this flawless text onto the special yellow parchment, which, by the way, that signifies something important, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's a crucial and permanent imperial decree. This isn't some casual memo. It's law.
So while he's doing this, he has an audience.
He does. The court lady, Yuan Baoer, she's standing right there beside the emperor.
And her silent observation is what kicks this whole thing off.
She's mentally comparing the emperor's struggle with this official's incredible talent. And she also notices his appearance, how delicate he looks.
Talented, yes, but almost fragile.
And the source says she just stares foolishly, completely lost in appreciation for his skill.
But the emperor sees this. He sees her intense, fixed gaze, and he just completely misreads it.
Totally. He just dismisses it because, she's known for her naive or simple demeanor.
So he doesn't suspect infidelity.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Her simplicity is, paradoxically, what makes her seem safe in his eyes.
And this is where his good mood starts to become incredibly dangerous.
He links her simple nature to ancient legend, specifically to Zhao Fan.
The famous dancer, the one who was supposedly so light she could dance on a man's palm.
Exactly. He even says he always thought those stories were, just poetic exaggeration.
But seeing Bauer, her natural lightness and her innocent fixed gaze, it makes him reconsider.
Right. He suggests that, hey, maybe those old legends are true after all. It's a massive high-status compliment. It's validating his own taste and celebrating the whole moment.
So he's feeling great. He's got his brilliant decree. He's complimented his favorite lady using a legendary comparison. So why? Why risk such a dangerous joke in this environment?
I think it's the absolute entitlement of power. He just doesn't see the risk.
So he decides to reward the official and commemorate the moment.
With poetry, he commissions Yu Xinan right there on the spot to write an instant poem about Bauer.
And the prompt is to connect her foolishness with Zhao Fan's lightness.
A very tricky assignment, but the genius delivers instantly. He writes these lines about her half-done makeup, and how her simple demeanor is what earns the emperor's favor.
Exactly. The emperor is thrilled, but the drama isn't over. Because Bauer reads the poem, but she claims she only appreciates the calligraphy,
She says she doesn't understand the meaning.
And the emperor, still in this buoyant, jovial mood, he leans in and whispers the line that almost ends her life.
How about I give you to him as a minor concubine tomorrow? And that one phrase just transforms everything, being passed off like that. It's a severe public demotion.
It's a transfer of royal property. It signifies a complete loss of imperial favor and status.
And here's the terrifying part, the real insight into absolute monarchy. She does not recognize it as a joke.
She believes the Son of Heaven cannot speak flippantly. Not about something like this.
So she takes it as a solemn decree. Instantly, she turns pale, devastated, and just walks out without a word.
The emperor is distracted for a moment, and by the time he looks back, she's gone.
And the next thing they hear are shouts from the Love Lotus Pavilion.
Who jumped into the pond?
An inner official confirms it. She deliberately threw herself into the water. It wasn't an accident.
To prove her fierce sincerity and loyalty.
In her mind, the only honorable response to being casually discarded by the emperor was suicide. It was the only way to prove her devotion was to him and him alone.
It's just shocking how quickly that moment of poetic inspiration turns into a near-fatal crisis.
And the emperor finds her being pulled from the water, full of mud and dripping wet.
He's genuinely shocked, isn't he? He realizes his catastrophic error.
He does. He apologizes profusely, says he was only joking, that he could never spare her.
But the court machinery immediately starts processing the tragedy into a political narrative.
Oh, yeah. The other court ladies, Han Jun and Zugir, they arrive, and they just start teasing her mercilessly.
Saying she's trying to act like some classic heroine throwing herself into a river.
It shows that even genuine distress in this world is measured against protocol and, aesthetic standards.
But the emperor takes it even further. When Lady Zugir tries to clean the mud stains off his undershirt,
he stops her. He declares he will keep the stained garment. He'll wear it regularly.
What is that about?
It's a rebranding of the crisis. He transforms her near suicide into a public symbol of her chastity and fierce loyalty to him.
So he absorbs her personal crisis and repurposes it.
Exactly. It now demonstrates the unwavering devotion he inspires, which strengthens his own imperial narrative.
And just like that, the personal drama is complete. And the court pivot is immediate and, frankly, cold.
Right. They shift straight from near-death theater to the necessary grind of imperial politics.
Specifically, succession. They all move to the Balin Yuan to visit Lady Shah.
And this is critical statecraft. Lady Shah is recovering from a recent miscarriage. She lost a male heir.
Which, especially right before a major military campaign like Liaodong, creates huge political instability. There's immense pressure on the emperor for lineage security.
The loss of a potential heir is destabilizing, for sure, but the distress of a royal consort also needs to be managed. So the emperor's solution is adoption.
He proposes taking Prince Yang Gao, who's 7 years old.
son of the late Lady Lu.
and making him Lady Sha's adopted son.
If you connect this to the bigger picture, it is a masterful, if maybe emotionally detached, chess move.
It comforts the now childless consort. It stabilizes a prince who might otherwise lack a power base.
And it makes the entire lineage appear strong and cared for all at once.
And the other ladies immediately fall in line, signaling their support.
Lady Zhuge praises Lady Sha's generosity, and the others all bow. The political arrangement is instantly solidified through court compliance. It's done.
And the flow just continues, unbroken. An official, Wang Yi, arrives next.
He brings a gift that just beautifully captures the contradictory priorities of Emperor Yang's court.
Longevity and prolonging years paste.
It's stu-du. It's this gift that speaks directly to piety and superstition. A magical cure made from rare spiritual grass and flowers that he got on a pilgrimage.
The emperor is seeking eternal life, while at the same time launching a massive, deadly war.
The juxtaposition is stunning, isn't it? And the emperor immediately puts Wang Yi to work, giving him 2 assignments that perfectly contrast this magical thinking with tyrannical practicality.
The first is logistical, manage the flagship dragon boat.
The main ship for the upcoming imperial trip to Guangling, which was itself a symbol of the emperor's extravagant, resource-draining pleasure trips.
And the second assignment, the secret one.
Right. This connects directly back to the succession we just discussed. He tasks Wang Yi with secretly engraving a jade token.
A 2 to formalize the adoption.
Prince Zhao Yangao is bestowed upon Lady Sha Ying as heir.
And this secrecy is vital, I assume.
Absolutely. The jade token is the physical, legal proof. It has to be done covertly to prevent court challenges from, rival consort factions who might oppose elevating this particular prince.
It's the final legal stamp on a purely political decision.
It is. And to wrap the whole scene up, Yuan Bao'er, who's now fully recovered from her near-death experience, she steps forward.
And rewards the official, Wang Yi, with 2 bolts of fine cloth.
It's her return to full functionality within the machine of the court. It's the signal that the drama is truly over.